Hey, Peter.
Hey, Adam.
Can I tell
Adam,
you about...
are you listening to me?
There's a very
Can you
special...
let me get...
Peter,
do you know how to take constructive criticism?
Do you?
Well, we'll see.
I'm Adam Ennis.
And I'm Peter Martin.
And you're listening to the You'll Hear It podcast.
Jazz Explained.
Explained, brought to you today by you'llhearit.com.
What?
Go to you'llhearit.com, Peter.
To
reserve your tickets.
To
You'll Hear It Live!
There it is.
Yeah, we're going to be live in New York City on Friday, April 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time at the Sheen Center in beautiful NoHo, that's just north of Houston.
Man, we're in a hip neighborhood. It's the Sheen Center for Thought and Culture.
Well, we don't.
Which is an apt. As soon as we saw that place, we're like, that's where we belong in New York.
Yeah,
we were thinking like Village Vanguard, maybe the Blue Note.
That's a lot of pressure. We got to have thought and culture. I don't know if we can bring that. Okay, we'll try. Anyway, man, we're so excited about this because the You'll Hear It tribe is going to come together.
Yes.
All of our You'll Heariters, You'll Heroes. What do we call them?
Heroes.
I don't know. Well,
dear listeners, DLs, perhaps. Yeah.
We're going to come together. We're going to do a live show on stage. We're going to be playing some music. We're going to be talking, of course, piano, jazz,
maybe a little Q&A.
Little Q&A.
Throw that in there.
Meet me and Peter. Producer Caleb's coming along.
Right.
To meet producer Caleb. And we're going to have some other nice surprises and fun things,
and it's
too.
New York City.
It's New York City.
I mean, what a great place to meet up.
By the way, also,
yes,
it's free.
Oh, yeah.
It's free. So, and it's not a big venue.
Well, it's not free.
Well, there's a gala. We'll just talk about the gala in a minute. So it's not free, but it's not a big venue. So you're going to want to reserve your ticket now because they're going to go fast. Your free ticket. And you're going to want to show up, which is the gala part of it.
That's right. Gentlemen's and ladies agreement says that if you reserve your free ticket at you'llhearit.com, which you're going to want to do soon because I think these are going to go pretty quickly. It's not a huge venue.
It's not very big.
But we require you, we're going to bring the fire, we're going to bring the thought and the culture, the discussion. Well, you guys are going to bring the community. I can't wait to meet everybody. We've been seeing everybody in the comments.
For real.
Last time I was in New York, somebody came up to me on the street. I think I texted you excitingly right after this and said, well, you'll hear it. I love you guys. So we're excited to meet you guys. I'm excited for you guys to meet each other. It's going to be a party.
Yeah.
It's going to be a party.
Go to you'llhearit.com to reserve your free ticket today. That's April 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern in New York City, the beautiful Sheen Center.
Yep.
You'll hear it live.
That's
so
right.
Peter, we're up now. We're on a high.
You on a high?
It's time to go low.
Oh boy.
We're going to be dragged
when
down.
we go high, they go low. We go low.
So I haven't heard what we're about to do yet. This is something that we kind of called an audible with, like at the 11th hour.
Can I interrupt you and get out of my comfort zone right at the same time? Because that's what's about to go down.
Yeah, by the way,
yeah,
that hat is fire.
It's green.
How am I just not?
It's a lot going on. Your hat is fire. I'll trade you.
No,
let's show them both off here. So that's All Day Running Company. Shout out Atlanta.
That is
Jesse Eitzler.
St. Louis,
STL.
Missouri.
Shout out King Louis.
No, shout out the Crimson Serpent who had this hat made.
Yeah.
Ironically, this hat that says STL on it was made in Kansas City.
Well, they have a better football team at this point.
They have the only football team at this point.
So we received a SpeakPipe, and you can go to You'll Hear It, and still, as you're getting your tickets, your gala tickets, you can also leave us a question at any time. And I just heard this question. You haven't heard it. I've only heard half of it, but it intrigued me because it's got some constructive criticism, I believe, specifically for me.
Okay.
Although I'm hoping the second half of it, you're going to be reacting to the entire thing because you haven't heard it. I've only heard half of it, like I said. So I'm going to be reacting to the second half.
I vaguely know what it's about, but I
told you about
heard it. Yeah.
But I'm hoping that there's some criticism for you as well. I fear that the criticism is only directed at yours truly.
Okay.
And I'm okay with that. I'm putting myself out there.
Okay, so you're just putting out direct. You know what you're inviting here?
What?
You're inviting more people to leave
shame,
criticisms on the speak. Don't just think the SpeakPipe is for criticism. If you want to give us some love too, you can. Put it on the SpeakPipe.
And we usually get that. But you know what? I did want to talk a little bit about how to receive and show you guys in real time how we do that.
Oh, dude.
Actually, we're not just we the Hair Club for Men. I'm a member. I'm not just the owner. Okay.
Can I just say though, honestly, before we even hear the criticism, we've been talking a lot about growth lately around the podcast and personal growth. Nothing has actually been better for my personal growth than learning how to take criticism, sometimes really negative criticism, but like when you can just like be okay with yourself no matter what people are saying about you, that's a superpower, man.
Yeah.
That's a big superpower. And if you can honestly take criticism from people that are not there just to be a jerk or whatever, but are criticizing your work and maybe how you do things. And if you can be honest, and maybe you don't have to agree with it, but I'm curious to see how this is going to go.
Well,
this is a huge part of personal development.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah,
I'm going into it with my
here.
growth mindset for sure.
All right.
Should we listen?
Yeah.
This is JF.
Okay.
Hey, Adam, Peter, how's it going? JF here in Las Vegas. Just want to leave a message. I don't think this one will make it on the show.
Oh.
However, I just wanted to share something. I love the show so much. There is one area, though, where I struggle quite a bit, and that is very specifically how Peter keeps interrupting Adam. How, Peter, you keep interrupting Adam. I just don't get it. Your brain is probably super busy and so on. However, it does have the effect that, in my view anyway, Adam can't form a complete thought, I guess. And
that has nothing to do.
Keep interrupting him. So this is meant to be super constructive, man. Like I said, I love the show. I'm not going to write a review or anything like that. I just want to leave a vocal message instead. And I imagined myself, what if you had a 2-piano gig and you behaved that same way? It would be weird. You would never do that musically.
It's weird, JF. It's very weird.
So there you go, man. Just wanted to share that. I was listening to the anxiety episode, and I had to pause and send this.
It caused him anxiety, me interrupting.
Again, big fan of the show. JF here in Las Vegas. Nice sunny day today. Hope you are well out there in St. Louis, and keep up the good work. All right. Take care.
Well, it was a nice sunny day here too,
Peter,
until you just put those
clouds,
until you brought those clouds of shame upon me. It's not,
no, you know what? That was actually fairly constructive. You could tell JF likes the show. He just doesn't like one.
Me. No. We're joking, but I'm. You know what?
How you feeling?
I'm a short guy anyway. This is how I'm feeling.
Oh, no. So how are you feeling?
The rest of the episode like this.
So first of all, buddy, if this is the worst criticism that we get on the podcast today, that's a great day. You know, we get a lot worse than this. I think Caleb shields us from.
Well, this is the problem. Okay, I'm going to come back up to size. I'm going to try to bring. I can't.
No, we get. We on the regular we get literally people like, I don't like your face. Why are you playing? It should only be Peter playing. There's all this kinds of stuff.
Right. I didn't know. I don't like your face. Who was that? Was that against me too?
That was a DM from my mom to me. No, I'm just kidding. It's Sean Weil calling. Peter, we got to go.
Okay, so this is the thing. First of all, thank you, JF. That was very big of you to leave a voice message and not to hide behind a review, or not that you wouldn't be. Feel free to leave reviews, honest reviews, please, comments. We love it all. But that was very humane of you so we could hear your voice. And I appreciate you saying you love the pod, and I could hear that love from you. So I really appreciate the constructive criticism. I'm joking around all this because I'm going to take this very seriously. But I want to ask you first, obviously if somebody, it's kind of like if you have an ugly green hat on perhaps, but you don't have a mirror in front of you, one wouldn't know that. But do I have an ugly green hat, or more specifically, do I interrupt you on the pod a lot?
I have honestly never noticed that you interrupt me. And I mean, now that I'm self-conscious about it, that JF has told us, I'm really worried about interrupting you. Like, I'm thinking about it in my head, like, okay, let him finish his thought.
Right.
I think that you and I, we shotgun a bunch of coffee before we get in here. We go down the street to Hilo. We drink a bunch of coffee, talk about what we're going to talk about in the podcast every time we record. We get here, and then sometimes, like he was talking about this, I think specifically from the anxiety episode. That's one of my favorite episodes we've ever done, by the way. Yeah. And you had so much to talk about. Yeah, you're still a little low, but you had a bunch to talk about with that. And it was such an amazing experience for you to open up and be vulnerable and talk about your fears and anxieties. Yeah. And I did not notice you cutting me off or interrupting at all. In fact, it felt like a pretty natural, flowy conversation. So I hesitate to say, I think you naturally have a very playful energy when you have a conversation with anybody, whether you're on the podcast or
never again.
No. The
days of that are over.
I just feel like
sorry to interrupt. I think I do. I definitely do this kind of thing.
You do this kind of thing,
which can be disconcerting.
Have you ever noticed, Peter, though, that a lot of the times, like 85% of the times, this is what I catch myself doing actually, is I just barrel right through. I don't even acknowledge your interruptions.
Yeah.
And so I'm self-conscious about that. Like, maybe I should stop more and be like, what were you saying, Peter? Because I feel like I'm just like, well, Peter, he's going to interject. some funny shit here,
Right.
and I'm just going to keep going. You know what I mean? But I think, honestly, JF, I appreciate the feedback. I think the more that we are in our heads about how we're talking to each other, the less natural it is. I think if people know Peter Martin is the same on the podcast as he is talking to you in real life. And it doesn't ever come across as like being a jerk or stepping on someone's toes. It comes across as playful and a good energy to have in a conversation. My humble opinion.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But I do want to, just to depersonalize this a little bit, because we're talking about constructive criticism that we could always get at any time, right? Often from a spouse, from a child, from a parent, from a friend, whatever. And we don't give and get enough of it. So I relish in this opportunity to get it and in thinking about it. And I think two things can be true, right? So when we hear constructive criticism, when we're giving constructive criticism that is about ourselves, we don't want to just like wallow in it or just be like, oh, I'm horrible. But we also don't want to be, oh, I have to fix exactly what like they say. Like you have to do some evaluation. It has to resonate with you.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they don't necessarily mean wrong, but they may not be correct for your situation. So like in this case, what this makes me want to do is to like kind of take a poll, not even of you, because I don't think you can be very objective because you know me so well. You might say, well, it's not a big deal. You're not interrupting because I know you. But somebody listening to the pod shouldn't have to know me.
Yeah.
So I think it could be a little bit off-putting, my interjections.
I think it's probably, honestly, there's probably...
you're just going to interrupt me like that, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Big time. I'm going to start doing it more now. No, I think there's probably like all constructive criticisms, especially from people like JF, who obviously are not just trolling, but actually care. There's probably a kernel of truth, right? But it might not be affecting everybody the way that it's affecting...
Oh, wait, there's a kernel of truth? Okay.
Oh, there he goes.
Back down. I was feeling better about it. I can't see you.
Okay, no, come back up, Ed. Come back up.
By the way, if you're not watching us on the YouTube, you're missing all the visual gags, and you're probably a little off-put
They're
by
not
that.
missing much. Let's be honest, Peter. They are not missing much.
Yeah.
No, but I think so.
So how do we calibrate then? Like when we get constructive criticism.
Well, I think it's a lifelong pursuit. I just interrupted you. Now I'm super in my head about it. I think you calibrate.
JF, if nothing else, you've
just
thrown
interrupted me, and I just
you've thrown off the pacing of this episode.
See, this is what I'm
show
saying. Now we're in
forever.
our heads, JF. You've ruined the whole show. We can't. All right, should we cancel the live?
No.
I know we just announced.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I'm excited about that. No, but in talking about calibrating, like, because that's up to, first of all, I think the mistake that's made is when you get constructive criticism, when you put up a barrier and you're either shameful or you're just like, no, that's not right. That's not who I am. Like, I think that we should always, I don't care if you're Herbie Hancock and somebody says, I don't like your jazz piano playing, you suck or whatever. Okay, yeah, that's a little ridiculous. But if someone's like, you play too loud or something, I would imagine even Herbie would be like, well, I'm going to think about that. And it's easy for him to be like, well, that's funny because millions of people think I play great, but maybe there is something to this. So I think that calibration, is important because we don't want to just wait and, sometimes it's the canary in the coal mine, right? I don't want to be like, you know what? You think I interrupted a lot? That's funny because nobody else has ever said that. And we have an award-winning podcast that's having a live in New York City on April 12th.
Yeah.
Because sometimes constructive criticism can be tapping into something that a bunch of other people are not saying. And it is a little off-putting. Think about entertainment that you consume. I'm thinking about that myself, where there are certain things I still enjoy about it, but I'm kind of like, this is a little bit off kilter. I wish they would fix this little thing. Or you go to a restaurant that's great and everything's great about it, but maybe there's one little service part. The food is so good, you still love it.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of constructive criticism. And I do that. Like when I'll go to a restaurant, especially if I like it, if there's something, because they don't always notice, like they don't see it the way we see it. They're on the other side of the counter. They're on the other side of the table, And so I think if we love each other in this world and everything, and we love something, it's great to speak up and say, like, you know what? Because he's not saying like, you got to change this. But so in us receiving constructive criticism, we have to calibrate how deep of an issue, how much we want to think about it.
You just have to be honest. You have to figure out exactly what's going on for you. Is this true for you?
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like now you're going to be thinking about it a little bit, but it doesn't seem like it's anything that's been true for you. I also, again, man, I think it's just part of your personality and it does not come across as anything but playful. It doesn't come across as like disrespectful or anything to me or anybody else you're speaking with.
But I can see it. It's interesting because it's not and this might be helpful for people, especially with their playing. Like if you get
playing's different. Please don't go up to artists after their show and give them constructive criticism. I don't think JF would ever do that.
No, but a mentor, and we're in a mentor situation, especially you with a lot of our students at Open Studios, like Open Studio Pro, and constructive criticism is all about, we're not here to be like, oh, you sound like, you can be supportive and giving constructive criticism at the same time. And I think when we get that about our playing, when we're in those situations, like I've gotten those like recently.
Yeah. I mean, if you
like, can you not be so busy during that section?
Oh,
there's a pattern here. I'm interrupting. No, but I mean, like that's a very similar thing for me to be like, oh, really? Well, Betty Carter didn't say that when I played with her, you know.
When you're making music with other people, I think that can be part of the process. I'm just saying if like you go to see a show, I mean, there's some cultures where this is way more acceptable.
Yeah.
If you've ever toured around and you've been in certain parts of Europe, you know that they'll just tell you exactly what they thought without any pleasantries at all.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, you sound okay, but I feel like you could work on your time a little more. And it's like, oh, well, nice
if
to
I
meet
slap
you
you upside the head, will you think that would that make it sound better, Time?
Yeah, in the Midwest, it's so foreign to us that you would ever do that. I mean, it would be like if we see any show, we're like, it was amazing. Here's some cookies and a hot dish, you know. I want to but for artists, this can be rough to take criticism, even for great artists. Here's a classic example.
And we made this up on stage in London one night, just like
classic, right?
Call Tyrone, Erykah Badu.
Keys was playing this music for sound check, and I was like, "That's dope." So I got on the mic, and I just started just making up some stuff. And
97.
So I'm gonna test this out right quick on Now keep in mind that I'm an artist, and I'm sensitive about my shit.
Yeah, that's great. Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Happens to the best.
Keep
of us.
that playing. I love this track.
We should go out on this.
Yeah.
How y'all feel?
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for the constructive criticism. If y'all want to leave us any more, you can leave us a speak pipe. Look, I'm like on the track now. Keep it going.
It's this whole album.
But you better
actually,
bring it
this live
strong
album,
like JF, or else I'm gonna call Tyrone. I'm gonna call JF.
Till next time.
You'll hear it.
You don't never buy me nothing. See, every time you come around, you got to bring Jim